myself a promise, I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up? What up? What is up? Hope everyone's having themselves a nice Tuesday. Tuesday, May the 13th, as a matter of fact. And I picked the wrong day to wear a yellow shirt. I didn't realize there was going to be all kinds of programming going on today, but it is Team Carrier. So yellow would not have been my choice. I don't know that they had a choice, but I just see a lot of this yellow on screen today. Boy, we're going to get after it tonight, though. Live show tonight. Sharpie's off again. That means I get to spend the night hanging out with my guy, my friends here tonight, betting on some sports, looking after the plays that we capped earlier today. I gave out a 5-pack of MLB plays. The MLB is getting thin down on the schedule today. Cancellations. Rain. Philadelphia. Postponed. Out of there. Baltimore, Minnesota. Rain. Postponed. Out of there. Now, the problem with both those games is their makeup days will be tomorrow, which means they will have double headers. I don't like that. You know I don't like that. You know I don't like the way that looks. White Sox and Reds. Delayed. Just that kind of day today, it looks like here. But there's still plenty of action. We've got all kinds of things popping off up in her. We're going to give you guys some double dippers. We're going to give you... I don't think I have any parlays. I did add an RBI. So I guess today was the number. I was fixated on 5 RBIs. I gave out 5 on Sharpie show. That got whittled down to 4. Sharpie gave out 5 K props. I'm going to add a 5th RBI. How about that? We're going to talk about the Tampa Bay Rays, the Toronto Blue Jays. The Rays and the Jays battling. First time they'll meet this year, north of the border. First time they'll meet at all this year. But north of the border in the 6th, Tampa Bay Rays, Toronto Blue Jays. We got the Pirates and the Mets. Shout out to Paul Skeens, again, missing his K-prop for us. The LA Angels and San Diego Padres, a little West Coast battle after the Angels came back in 9th inning dramatic fashion to beat them Padres yesterday. Take note. Take note. I'm choking. Take note. First game out of Coors Field. We're going to start tracking that. We're start playing that a little bit more closely. We're going to wrap up the Major League Baseball schedule with Oakland and the LA Dodgers. Double spots in there. We got a ribeye. We got a steam report. Active in those 2 spots. Winnipeg and Dallas will be the lone game on the NHL slate tonight. The single game. And I got 2 plays. 8:10 p.m. start for that one. I got 2 plays. I could probably give you a 3rd play too, but 2 plays. Really like 2 plays in that game. And then Denver and OKC. Now, I chose Denver and OKC, and I kind of forewent this Pacers and Cavs game, and we could talk about it, but the NBA has been tricky. Man, I will say the NBA has been a tricky, savage beast. It reigns. It feels no fear of any person out there. The Boston Celtics come out on fire. They win that first half by 11 points yesterday. They blow the game outright by 8. I've never seen this before. You know, it makes sense to me. I just had this epiphany. We saw favorites cash in everything. So all these new database builders out there, with the year's data or less, that's why you need to have something with some real meat behind it. Because if you look at the database this year and it's year 1, or even if it's year 2, What'd you see? You saw the NFL was all favorites. You saw March Madness was all favorites. You saw, I don't know, whatever else was out there was all favorites. We know that's not the case. And now guess what? The dogs are barking. The New York Knickerbockers, the short pants, took them down last night outright. Second half, it was the third quarter that crushed them. 37-23 was a blowout in that third quarter. Second half adjustments by the Knickerbockers, figuring it out. Now leading that series, would you have guessed the Boston Celtics are facing elimination in the second round? Speaking of which, here, the Minnesota Timberwolves handled business. Did not handle first half business. Did not win the -2.5 first half. Did win the game by 7. Big second half performance. It is really the tale of two halves in these NBA games. And so as I was looking at this game with Cleveland tonight, I mean, first and foremost, they're injured. Their backs are against the wall. They're going to be putting Spida out there, even though he's banged up. There's no position of strength. They certainly don't want to lay 8.5. If anything, I would advocate to take the points. But if the team's winning, they're covering. And so if they're going to win, it's probably the Pacers that win that game, is my estimation. But we'll talk about the Nuggets and the Thunder because that series is tied. That one's got some meat on the bone. So that'll be a good one. That'll be a fun one to talk about. And I mentioned the live show, right? 7 p.m. So we're going to turn this thing around right fast after this show. Get ready to go. Sharpie's going to pop it off. I'm going to join him shortly thereafter so that we can live bet and sweat the 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. You know, we don't go. We know how Sharpie and I roll on Tuesdays. Get to like 9 p.m. Well, now last week was different. We had a double overtime hockey game, and it took some years off the back end of our lives. But we'll be done by 9. Just kind of in and out tonight, couple hours. Talk about some live plays for the late slate, and then get everybody on their way. Set them on their way. Set them on their way. There's another little fun track drop for you guys. I'll give you all kinds of fun track drops here. What was not so much fun was last night. We finished out and down 2 units. I talked about the basketball situation. Knicks win the first half. Or I'm sorry, the Celtics win the first half and blow the game. And Minnesota loses the first half and wins the game. We just needed to flip-flop those 2 spots. Didn't get it done. The Washington Capitals got blown out 5-2, but how about that under 6.5? Vegas, Edmonton, first period goes over 2-0, looking sweaty, finishes 3-0. No problem. Now, I share some of these trends. You could have gotten the under 6.5 at plus 175 last night after the Vegas Golden Knights scored that first goal. I did. I was a believer. And then what's funny is they got 2-0. They go into the second period. It's now minus 135 again. How'd that happen? There's already 2 goals on the board. They're foreshadowing what was going to go on in that game. The Atlanta under, Cash Forest, no sweat, 8.5 under, no problem. San Diego and Phillies. The Phillies just blew it. You know, Chris Sanchez did not deal. Neither did Michael King for that. Well, Michael King really didn't do terrible, but San Diego on the second leg of that parlay didn't cash either. So, Stop Geo's 20 minutes away. Says definitely can confirm showers are spotty. I didn't mess with the Detroit game because of that. I love the weather report. We got to look out for each other. You know, the number one rule, we stay away from rain delay games if we can help it. I think player props are a little bit different. By the way, under in the 8.5, Colorado and Texas was an easy no sweat winner there. 2-1 final as well. So I bungled up that recap, but it ended up down. That's what it was. Wasn't our finest day, but we live to fight another day. We're not doing 5-unit chasers, 5%. I got my 10% game of the century. We just do everything for 1-unit plays. We try to be cognizant of the VIG. That's what hurts some people. Like, could we have come in here and been like, hey, take the Vegas first period over? Yeah, but it was like minus 180. You would have had to take both teams to score, and they didn't. So we just got our plus money, and that was big plus money, by the way. That was plus 120 on that 6.5 under. So We know what we're doing around these parts. We'll figure it out. We'll get it back together. It's just a game. Lots of stuff out there. Well, not yet. Not yet. Here's what's out there. VB, MMA, Ramon Scott, and your boy Mikey Money. I got the call up. Ramon got the call up on Saturdays. I got the call up on Tuesdays. Well, this Tuesday. We went through 4 fights, excuse me. 4 fights. 4 of them. I probably gave out about 7 plays, maybe 8 plays. They'll be in the playbook for you guys this weekend, not to worry. But check that show out. It's about 40 minutes. Fun to work with Ramon and VB. That's my first time. It's my first time getting involved with them fellas. Treated me well. Gave me some opportunity to talk about some fights. Got the call up, short notice, and they said, you're leading off. I was like, oh. And it was the curtain jerker on a female fight. But we did it. So the VB MMA, Ramon Scott, and Mikey Money guest appearance today. Now available for you guys to check out for this. This is the last fight card before the Memorial Day break. So we'll have next week off. I'll have an extended time off. And we want to make sure that we capitalize. Last week was a killer, an absolute killer. I still can't believe it. Multiple, 5 digits with a withdraw within an hour of each other. Fucking books had to be upset. Anyways, Jeff and I got the the PGA Championship golf video shot. We did it right before we came on here. Or right before I came on here. So I'll edit that up tonight. I'll have that out to you guys tonight by around 10 p.m. Around 10 p.m., you can expect that golf video to be ready to go. Top 20s, top 10s, top 5s, first round leaders, and outright winners for you guys for this big event at Quail Hollow, the second major of the year. Again, I mentioned the Sharpie and Mikey Money spots this afternoon. We did the Major League Baseball prop show. We'll talk about that live tonight. And of course, we'll be live at 7. So there he is. Nasty Nate says Uncle Dana just gave out the 317 card. Islam and JDM. I was expecting that. Trans-Canada. I always thought Canadians were soft and polite, not cunty and rude. But hey, it's good to see you, Trans-Canada. Make sure you smash the thumbs up button. Hey, do us a favor. Grab yourself a membership while you're at it there. I can see you're not in the green, and we love our viewer-supported content. So, matter of fact, let's give a gentle reminder to everybody. You know Trans-Canada's not taking the time to do it. Guys, smash that thumbs up button out there. It helps us a ton. The comments, I told you, we get to 50 comments. Anybody that's leaving a comment is going to get put into a giveaway this weekend. We're going to give away some swag this weekend based on the comments that you guys leave in the show notes after the videos. After the shows are done, after the videos are done, we get to 50. We got 10 yesterday. So we're on our way. We're trailing. We're tracking. Let's get it done. Smash that thumbs up button. And then we'll get back to work. Excellent use of the term hunting. Redbeard says, come on, Trans, 16 cents a day. It's like 20 cents for Canadians, but it's still a fair deal. It supports the crew. Let's go. Let's do what we do. It's time. You guys know the deal here. We've got work to do. There's never enough time in the day. Fortunately for us, none of our plays start before 7 p.m. So there is plenty of time to get this action laid down. Get your bets placed. We're not going to mess around with some of these earlier games, although I like the Guardians in the over, but I think I pushed the over yesterday. And like I mentioned, I don't want any part of that Red Sox Detroit with the impending rain delay. Pen and paper out. Time to talk about the chat. What games are they on? How are they getting paid? Let's get after it. Scump Blaster leads us off. Says, let's get paid, fellas. Redbeard in the house. Scump Blaster's got the skunt bag play of the day. The Athletics. Plus 175. Kenny Wood in the house. What's up, Ken? Robert McCormick's here. Skunk Blaster says sports money is money. Right, Skunk. It's good to have you here, my friend. Peter Gracia says, sup? It's a beautiful day in May. Let's cash. I got half the, on top of shooting all these videos, I got half my lawn mowed before it started raining. I can't remember the last time I only got a half a lawn mowing, but I did it today. It was raining when I really felt sprinkles before I even started, so I probably shouldn't even have started, but at least half of it's done. Optimism. Stuck to Gerald Jones. His best bet's the Pacers plus 7.5 on a 14-1 NBA second round run. How about that? And he likes the Cubs run line minus 120. I think that's the best way to play that Pacers game in hindsight. This line's come down. I don't like that, but Zoe says flooding here in Western PA, Maryland, West Virginia. Be careful of there, ladies and gentlemen. It's been rainy and wet pretty much across the entire Atlantic seaboard. If you saw Quail Hollow yesterday, looked like it was raining up from the ground. It's crazy. Shout out to J Main in the house. Peter Grassi says, and we quit double headers. Yes, sir. Take them off the board. No sense. Stop Gio says, let's get it, y'all. Good luck. Thanks for the show. Appreciate you, my guy. Ron Young's here. Appreciate the comment from Ron Young. And the comment on the video. J Main says, yeah, man, the rain's in the way. Nicholas Handy's ready to roll. Redbeard's been cashing a lot of quarter spreads and winners. Somebody cashed up. I liked the play too. First quarter, they rolled over the unders in this Denver game. They took the first quarter, rolled it over to the second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Had a nice big payout when it was all said and done. Zofe says, dogs are hunting right now. Perfect time to bust up these books. Gerald Jones says, my Knicks earning big checks. Tone Abs in the house. What's up, Tone? One on your over-unders again. Appreciate that. I'll continue to support, and I will spread the word around. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate you taking the time to recognize. We hear about some of the losers, but nobody likes to talk about the winners. Peter Grassi says Celtics need to fire their head coach. Too many three-pointers. I agree. Zofe says, wish I'd been on him too, Gerald Jones. Stop Gio. Live show tonight. You know it, my guy. And he talked about that rain impending at Comerica. Zofe says he agrees with Peter Grassi. Their experiment with the metrics has failed. Time to focus on ball movement. I agree. We talked about it, though, didn't I? Didn't I tell you guys they were going to be shooting threes, changing the game plan? Did not go the way we thought it would. Scumpblaster says Cavs at home with everything on the line is very appealing. And everyone on the Pacers. Seems like Cavs get this done easy. Couldn't be on the Pacers here tonight. Scumpblaster, of course, I want a banger parlay, my friend. Cavs, Stars, Thunder, A's. Cavs, Stars, Thunder, A's. Okay. I had to process that for a second. I had to think about it. I'd get down with that. This guy telling me. TransCanada, it's 16 cents a day. I bet you he spends more money on that, more money on poutine and Tim Hortons. But he can't come up with 16 cents a day. Chris Camatini's in the house. Stop Gio's back on Michael Porter Jr. Alternate under at plus 164. That shoulder looks bad. And he's cashed 3 of his last 4 head-to-head versus OKC. Redbeard in the house. This is why we have tariffs. Damn right. Shout out to Barry. What's up, Barry? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Ilya versus Oliveira. Excuse me, I'll get it right. For the vacant title, too, huh, Nasty Nate? That sounds fun. 317 sounds okay. There was some heat on 317, not looking so good. Ignatius Penny Feather, the 7th, says Padres Moneyline, Machado, home, hits, runs, RBIs, Tatis, bomb, huh? Nasty Nate. Let's go. Let's get to work here. Shout out to Zofe. Blessing the Tuesday action with a dead Lincoln. We appreciate Mikey, Ramon, and Sports Money. Thank you, Zoe. That's the way we wanted to launch this ship off the dock. How about that? Shout out to Smoke and Mirrors in the house. Appreciate my guy Zoe up here gifting a $5 dono. That picks up the pace. That gets us fired up. Ramirez home run. Son of a bitch. I talked about him earlier today. I went with Carlos Santana. And Carlos Santana. You guys know that song. There's 2 drops today. There's 2 fresh drops for you guys today. Shout out to Keith. I'm on the Cavs minus 7.5. He's ready to go. Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys. We don't have many, but it's how you use your unit that matters most in the sports gambling business. Probably in a bunch of things, but specifically in the sports gambling business. As I said, we're not trying to fleece you guys. Not trying to play that game. You know that game. Oh, I lost at 2%, so I got a 3%, and I lost at 3%, but I got a 5% tomorrow, and then we're off. No. It was a 7-day-a-week thing. Open the fucking computer up, find some games, and pick some winners. And I think we did that here with Tampa Bay and Toronto. This game pops off, as I said, 7 p.m. is when our action first gets going. And we got Jose Berrios. Jose Berrios on the. It's a weird game because you got Shane Baz on the other side of things here. 67% of the bets, only 59% of the cash have come in on the Blue Jays. Yet the line has moved pretty significantly the opposite direction of the Rays. From plus 108 to plus 122 is a 14-cent move. 14 cents. 86% of the bets, 86% of the cash have gone in on the over, and it has not moved off of that 8. And I mentioned this is kind of an interesting game for really, I mentioned earlier, it's the first time these 2 teams will play each other. I do believe in the AL East factor that kind of carried over a little bit, at least in my initial background and breakdowns of these games. AL East teams didn't do so well at home, but when they went on the road, they played well. The issue I'm having right now is how Tampa Bay is playing. And you kind of have 2 ships passing in the middle of the night. In the middle of the night. There's 3. There's 3 today. I'll give you a third one. Did you guys see that mashup, dude? You know what I'm talking about? That's a dude that does like the 3-minute mashup. He gets going. He's jamming. Like 30, 45 seconds in, he stands up and he's rolling. It's pretty creative. I'll give him that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's pretty good stuff. Jose Berrios, you look at this thing on the surface, Jose Berrios, 3.86 ERA. It's not great with a 1.41 whip. This is in place for a couple of guys tonight. So we have to be kind of mindful of how we go out there and apply our unit. Jose Berrios struggled at the start of the season. Had a couple bad outs in there. His last 4 games. So this, just like we look at with the goaltenders and kind of what they're doing time over time, like in the lapsed period of time versus current. 3.86 ERA for Jose. His last 4 games, he's down to a 2.63 ERA with 3 quality starts in the stretch. Also, since the opening day mishap that I referenced, his ERA is 3.02. So take out that bad game, he's 3.02, and he's on his way down to 2.5. Fire. Tampa Bay. What do we know about Tampa Bay? They're one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball against righties. The past 2 weeks, they're a 2.79 OBA. That's 25th out of all Major League Baseball teams. And they're almost dead last. They are swinging and missing at everything with a 28.9% K rate. They rank 30th. So that's a good formula. We got the pitcher moving in the right direction. We got the other team's bats moving in the wrong direction. Oh, and by the way, he has a 2.5 ERA over his last 5 starts against the Rays. He likes playing Tampa. Tampa's offense finding just a meager 3 runs per game over its last 6 road starts. Probably a lower scoring game. I feel like we see a lot of lower scoring games between these 2 teams anyways. Then you look at Shane Baz. On the other Baz, whatever. 4.93 ERA. But let's take that point in time approach. 8.38 ERA over his last 4 starts. That's getting worse. That's the sell sign. We got the buy sign on Berrios. We got the sell sign on Baz. 7 runs allowed to the Royals, 6 runs allowed to the Phillies, 5 runs to the Yankees. Oh, and then to boot, You got a top third offense against right-handed pitchers with a 3.69 OBA in the Blue Jays. Bottom line for me, I'm taking the Jays. If you want to look at the first game of the series on top of it, the Rays are 0-3 in their first games of road trips this season. Remember, we talked about they're going to play a shitload of games at Steinbrenner Field. They're now played about 50% of their home games for the year, which means they're going to be on the road. Look to fade them in game ones, partly because their starting pitcher, we talked about the ace-on-ace effect yesterday, and they're struggling. So I double-dipped it. I jumped in. I said, you know what? This looks too good for me to pass up. And I just straight played Toronto first 5, -125. Toronto full game, -135. I expect the Barrios-Spas matchup to go in favor of Toronto. I expect the Tampa Bay to get their 3 runs, and I expect Toronto to get 5 or 6. I like this opportunity. It's a double dip. That's how we're going to kick this show off. There's our guy, a razor sharp picks in the house. He had a network. He got the idea from Sports Money, I think. We're a network up in here. But he's going for 12 straight NBA winners. Jesus. Can you believe that? 13-3 in the NHL. He's running hot. Loves his Vegas first period overs. He likes his Dallas first period over tonight. Over 1.5. Shout out to you, Razor Sharp. Spoonbat says Steinbrenner Field is a hard to pitch in when the wind is blowing out versus 2 hot lineups. Kelly B says, love that info, Mikey. Teams, good, bad versus righty lefties. Really appreciate that example, Arizona. Good versus left-handed pitching for the valuable info. That's what we're here to do. Shout out to our guy, my man. Look at you guys. Razor Sharp Picks. He gifted a Sports Money membership for us. Let's go. Let's go, my brother. And not to be undone here, Redbeard led the charge. Redbeard gifting a Sports Money membership. Look at you guys. Look at you guys. Blessing the action, getting us rolling. Keith's talking about my playoff beard. Yeah, it is rocking. It is rocking. Shout out to you guys, man. Thank you guys. Shout out to Razor. Shout out to Redbeard. Man, you guys are fantastic. Shout out to Zoe. All you guys coming through here, getting us rolling in the right direction. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys, man. Thank you guys. Let's go. Let's keep it rolling. Let's roll on. So we got a double dipper. We got that Toronto double dipper to kick this game card off here tonight. Feel like it's the hashtag do damage spot. Hashtag Razor Sharp Picks Network. Hashtag network. I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you guys all for that. Let's go. Let's roll. He says, stupid. I can't do it with the same enthusiasm that Razor shared when he introduced us all to the benefit and how upset you can make somebody when you call him stupid. Then he had the didn't he have the arrow on when he was it the t-shirt? I can't remember if it was the t-shirt or was it the pop-up? And you were sitting on the screen and you were like, you got to put me on the other side. It says that was stupid. Oh, those were fun times. Those were fun times. All right, the Pirates and the Mets will pop off next. This one's again 7:10 p.m., so plenty of time. Big time cash coming in on the Mets. I get it. Pirates stink. Their bullpen stink on stink. 93% of the bets, 97% of the cash. Not a ton of movement. I mean, it came down 5 cents, but it went up 20 cents on the other side. So if you like the Pirates at plus 198, you got to love that plus 220. 7.5 is the back number. It opened at 7.5. It's staying at 7.5. It's got 87% of the bets and 86% of the cash on the over. And I'm reminded of what I told my boy the last time he was on the fade train. I said, don't fade Kodai Senga. Stop doing it. Guy's a killer. He's got a 1.16 ERA. He's 4-2 on the year. He's got Mitch Keller on the other side of things with a 4.4 ERA. Couple things I was looking at with this game. It was a battle yesterday, by the way. I can't remember. Did Skeens end up getting did Pittsburgh win the first 5? Can't remember. I know I live bet the shit out of the Mets when they were down. I think they were down like 1-0, and I was like, oh man, they had those boosts on DK. Fuck yeah, get me in. The Mets did come back, though, for that win. The under 7 was a push. It got aggressive. A lot of one-run games by these Pirates. 3-2 win, 3-2 loss, 4-3 win, 4-3 loss. So, how do we approach this game? Well, we know that the bats have been unbelievable with this New York Mets team. Can they sustain the pace? Will we see Red October? I know my guy at Razor Sharp Picks wants to see some Red October, as do I. I think we will. Not just as a homer, but a homer. You may know it as a hopa. Look, intersecting zeros. Actually, you got triple zeros. Triple zeros. 11-0, Senga as a favorite over -128. The under has cashed and cashed and cashed. We have Senga in here as a big favorite. The under is cashing by over 3.5 runs per game. The Mets also find themselves 10-0 to the under after a 1-run win. They grip the bats tight. They play strong defense. They're just dialed in. 1-run wins, them finding themselves on the right side of them. They're covering the totals on the under by 3.4 runs per game. 3.5 and 3.4 shows a healthy opportunity. The last but not least spot is Pittsburgh. It's not really triple zeros, I guess, because they're 11-1 to the under. This one makes the most sense. Team allows the team they're playing allows less than 9 hits a game. They're on the road, and they just lost by a run. In other words, the team's not giving you a lot of hits, and you're not doing shit with it on the road. And they're going under by 3.2 runs per game. Under 7.5 sounds plenty fine for me. I'll tell you, I thought about the Mets -1 and the under 8, just for conversation purpose. Let me take a look at this. See, the -1, well, it sucks because it's -192. It's +154 if you take the Mets -1 and the under 8. All right. I'm going to add that to the equation too. Write it down. Mets -1. Under 8. So we got the under 7.5 for the game. There's the banner. You guys asked me for the banner. I told you I will give you banners. You want banners? I got banners. I like that. I like the Mets under 7.5. Let me add this one. You probably, I mean, shop around. You could probably find another couple nickels somewhere here or there. I just did this on DraftKings. So there you go. There's another double dipper. As it turned out, who knew we were going to be double dipping all these games? Redbeard says, Skeen should just go on home to the Mets. Well, you might as well stop in Philadelphia for a stretch. It's halfway there. It's halfway between the two. The Angels and the Padres, the surprise, I'm not surprised spot of the day. Teams coming back, their first game from Coors. That was the Padres, and they took the L. Impressive comeback from the Angels. I shit on them. I said they're no good. But this number's huge. -200's gone to -210. 89% of the bets, 96% of the cash on the Padres, on the Fathers. The total's at 7.5. It's juiced to the under, and all the money's coming in on the over. Red flag. 92% of the bets, 91% of the cash on the over. I'm surprised this didn't make gamblers first glance. I don't know if our guy Razor's still in here or not. I did see he will be doing his show Saturday morning for the Preakness. What's up, Phoebe MMA Picks? It's good to see you, my guy. I just saw you. Just talked with you. This is Cleveland. Mitchell upgraded to probable tonight versus the Pacers. We did talk about the VB MMA Picks Ramon Scott show. That is out there for you guys ready to attack. Make sure you do follow our guy, VB MMA Picks. Or is that Ramon? Or is it me? It's not me. I'll tell you, it's not me. Kelly Nieces needs some RBIs. Can Soto score a run? I will never bet this. His RBI. I don't mess with those juice guys. Although I'm not sure how juiced he was. So look, when it comes down to this game, we talked about it yesterday, right? The big deal was the comeback. The Angels come out of this thing. They just kept firing. Good shout out to them. Good on them. And they didn't just win. They stomped them. 9-5 final. An explosion of runs in really the bullpen era of this Padres squad. And the Angels come through with the victory. Mind you, it's only like their second victory in 10 games or something like that. I mean, it wasn't looking pretty for these. Not quite that many, I don't think. But anyhow, where they were struggling against right-handed pitchers. Now, it is Soriano. I do like Soriano. You know, I think this stage, I'm going to make a bold statement here. After today's game, let me look and see who the Angels have on their schedule. I bet you the Angels go on a little run. Because they stink. And, you know, I know Sharpie was razzing me a little bit earlier today talking about how bad they are. And I don't disagree that they're bad. I mean, if you look at their point in time, yeah. But they've got a lot of players. And they shouldn't be that bad. So at some point, the law of averages, that's what I love about baseball. You get the law of averages, the large numbers, the mathematicians, people that are good with numbers can really clamp down and make some money in baseball. Especially once you understand, once you step away from, like, I talked earlier about databases and stuff, and like the trigger says that, you know, this line moved and so play this. Well, sometimes it's the forest for the trees. If you guys know what I'm talking about, right? That sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. You'll have to look up that reference if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about here. But yeah, everything tells you should be getting the F away from these guys. They stink, but look, Taylor Ward, that guy's a consistent performer. 6-run, 9th inning. Them boys didn't quit. I'm not going to overreact because I certainly didn't like that. But here's what their schedule looks like. All right. They got the Dodgers. So they got 2 games against the Padres here today and tomorrow. Then they got the Dodgers. So it's travel, but it's minimal travel, right? Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 3-game series against the Dodgers. Dodgers, probably the right time to catch the Dodgers because, well, it'll be Anderson against Gonsolin, Kikuchi against Knack, and I'm fading Knack. I'm fading him tonight. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Then they got the Athletics. And in the Athletics, so they should be able to get some runs going in that situation. They do go back home. They've got Miami. Now it's tough because they got the Yankees and the Guardians, but the Miami and Yankee series are at home. I'll bet you they go on a run. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So by May 28th, they got 15 games on the deck between now and the end of May 28th. We're going to take today off the equation because I don't think they're going to win today. That'll be 14 games. Can they go 10-4 in that stretch and be a dog in a whole lot of those spots and we make a whole bunch of money? Let's see. I don't want to look like a total asshole if I'm wrong here, but it's not the first time. It won't be the last time. But I don't like I mean, listen, this is a bounce back spot. Now, here's the thing you have to look out for with the Padres. Yeah, they lost. We saw that. Dylan Cease, I mentioned there's a couple pitchers tonight that fall into this demographic or this criteria of kind of shit the start of the season. And then, I mean, there was one bad start for Dylan Cease for sure. He allowed 9 runs on the road to the Athletics. So 5 starts after that, though, he goes from a 4.91 to a 3.16. He also has a pretty good K rating, striking out 27% of the time. Here's what we have to watch out for. Dylan Cease left his last start early with forearm cramping. Now, we saw McCullers come back from injury and got busted the F up the other day. What was that? It was 9 runs in the first inning, wasn't it? Houston against... was it Kansas City? I think it was Kansas City. Busted him up. 9 runs. pitcher injury potential. Now, that's Dylan Cease tonight, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that. But I'm going to lay the 1.5 here. They're crushing righties, the Padres. I mean, look, they just scored 100 runs. What do you want to say? You want to fucking glamorize it? If you're scared about the minus 1.5, then another alternate way that I would look at playing this thing is to take Machado. Hits, runs, RBIs over 1.5 and parlay him. Let's see what that looks like here with the Padres money line. I don't want to get overly tied into this game from a side perspective, though. I mean, it's one unit. It's one straight unit. We know the deal. Everybody knows the deal. One bite. I think I'd slay that pizza thing, by the way. Where's Manny? Where's good old man dog? Padres and Manny to get a hit are minus 120. It's not a terrible way to look at it. Is Manny not going to get a hit? I mean, I don't want to jinx it. I got him for an RBI. So San Diego's 14-4 at home. 12 of the 14 runs have been by 2 or more victories. So that's kind of why I pivoted back here. I got a nice plus money shot on this run line. Just giving you guys some alternate ways to play it if you're run line adverse. Some people don't like the run line with the home team because you're not getting the bottom of the ninth. I would argue it's baked into the number. That's why you're catching a plus money spot for the minus 1.5 because they know you're probably not going to be batting in the ninth inning. Food for thought. San Diego minus 1.5 makes the card for us with a Manny RBI. Here's the game I added an RBI and we're dogging. It's JP Sears, man. If there's any pitcher that's any good for shit, it's JP Sears in Oakland. The rest of these guys, Kelly V prefers Tatis. The problem I had with Tatis is I believe he's in the leadoff position. Or no, is he leadoff? I think he's leadoff. And then I think it's Manny. I can't remember. I know Jackson Merrill's after Manny. That's why I like that spot. Put Merrill behind him. Sophie's asking Ramon, was the chat on the Padres tonight? I also got involved with Manny because of the lefty-righty matchups and the experience against the pitcher over Tatis. But I mean, Tatis was right there on the list. I just trimmed him down. I was thinking about it too. I was gonna ask you guys if you would find benefit in. I guess I'll look and see how it does tonight. So usually when I go through my process of developing the RBI list for Tuesdays, there's a bunch of hitters that, I go through a couple different scrubs, a couple different databases and a couple different scrubs to get there to kind of whittle it down to 4. But I usually end up having a list of 10 or 12. So I would probably call them the Tuesday Rockets maybe, and maybe get that out to you guys if you had any interest. Maybe you let me know in a comment if you do want to see the list of the 10 guys. Let me see what it does tonight. I'll show you the list. Just so you know there's a list. Just so we're all playing in the trust tree. The trust tree. Let me see. Oh, you know what? Did I fuck it up? We'll see. We'll find it. We don't need to get into it right now. All right, last game on the deck here. I talked about it with JP Sears. The LA Dodgers, Los Doyers, 97% of the bets, 98% of the cash on the run line for the Dodgers. It's the only way you can play them. And it's plus money, which should be a concern. Total's got 80% of the bets and 93% of the cash on the over. It's knick, knack, patty, whack. Give this guy a bone with a 4.61 ERA. Despite that, look, the bats are unbelievable in Dodgerville. There's no question about it. We don't need to romanticize about how fucking fantastic they are. Probably not as good as the Philly bats, but maybe. Maybe. And I referenced that because he's 2-0. So despite a 4.61 ERA, they're still 2-0. Even though he's on the bus. You know what the bus is? The struggle bus for Knack. On the other side of things, you got Springs. Now, he's got a 4.81 ERA. It ain't pretty with a 4-3 record, but dare I say he's their ace? Dare I say it? Did I say it? I'm not sure. I know Knack's last game, he went 5 innings. He gave up 4 hits. He did have 5 Ks. So, for what it's worth, reasonable performance. But I like some JP Sears here. I'll tell you this, the Sharp Perspective betting report came in, and they were on this Oakland side of things, with the thought process being that Sears should shove, or at least try to hold these guys down. It's hard to say shove against the Dodgers, right? Teoscar Hernandez, Willie Smith. Will Smith, by the way, I think has himself a decent night tonight. His numbers were better than Freeman's. I mean, it's hard not to get involved with Freeman, but Enrique Hernandez had some good numbers on the list. He was part of the guys that made my list as well. And the list does not consist of Shohei Ohtani. Mookie Betts was not on the list either, but I wouldn't be surprised. He's Mookie. Mookie does what Mookie does. But Sharp Perspective betting action comes in. They believe in JP Sears. And you've got to kind of question what the hell's going on. Why are they buying this price tag? Is that what's going on? Are they just buying the price because it's a big plus money tag and the Dodgers aren't going to win them all? Well, I think first of all, they're looking at the Dodgers and they're seeing that the -1.5 is plus money. You have to take them on the run line to be profitable at all with the Dodgers. But with a shit team against the Athletics, why is it plus money? Then you look and you see Springsy, 3-1 with a 3.26 ERA on the road. Went 5 innings, let up 5 hits the last game. So now you got a situation. Now, I know the bats are the question. Bats are obviously the question, and there's no question when it comes down to it. The Dodgers have the better bats. Let's not fool ourselves. But these guys aren't a bunch of bitches. I mean, in all fairness, you look at some of these guys, like Soderstrom can crank the ball. He's not scared. He's not scared to go out there and knock down Knick-Knack. You look at the rest of these guys, kind of Butler. I'm a Butler fan. Here's some other dudes. Jacob Wilson. Who? Well, he's batting .350 for the squad. His on-base percentage is .380. He's got 54 hits. This is just a team of mediocre. It's Moneyball team. Just a bunch of mediocre dudes. The RBI I wanted to talk about. The one I wanted to add in the equation. By the way, it was +1. I think it was 185. I'll look here in a second. For and I like Andujar as well. Not to dismiss Andujar. Brent Rooker. Brent Rooker's my RBI ad. He's priced between 150 and 160. Brent Rooker. The Athletics are going to win. Someone's got to be popping some runs for him. And Brent Rooker, lefty-righty matchups. That's where it all comes down to for me. He's the best one on the team. So here's the thing about it, too. He's kind of got that crossing opportunity. Landon Knack has a 2.30 ERA against righties. Brent Rooker's got a 2.94 batting average against righties. And he's a righty. So best of the matchups. He does have Tyler Soderstrom, like I said, leads the team in home runs in front of him. But he also does really well against righties when it comes to hitting. So making contact is clutch to drive them runs around the base. I'd add Brent Rooker. Give me an RBI with Brent. Give me the Oakland Athletics. Sharp respected steam action came in, and they were on the Oakland Athletics. So that's what we'll take. That's how we'll roll. We'll move on. We got 2 games left. See what you guys have to say in their chat. Let's go. Oh, did I say? I meant Springs. I don't know. I said Sears. I meant Springs. Thank you for the correction. I screwed that up, didn't I? That's still good. Still good with Oakland. I just had the wrong name. I was looking at the wrong day. My fault. Doesn't change the breakdown for me. Ramon Scott has been running so hot. Likes the over and the LA Angels, San Diego. Taking runs. Joe Dog says, what software do you use? I've been free balling for a year now. Can't break 50%. Are you asking me? I don't know if you're asking me or not, but we use a multitude of, it's our approach that makes the difference here, Joe Dog. We leverage tools, technology, and then expertise We're not first timers in this piece. We've done this long time. And sometimes you can look at things like recognizing that the Padres, once they left Coors, was probably a bad play. You got to lose on that thing a lot to figure that out. Brandon the Great likes Freeman RBI. I don't not like Freeman. I just didn't like his price. Oh, by the way, Oakland. One last spot I got for you guys. Non-divisional dogs off a loss. 373 and 272 overall. A healthy 100-game margin. Non-divisional dogs off a loss. Skating out wins. 373 wins, 272 losses. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Onward, upward. NHL action. We'll trade in the torpedo bats. We'll try to get ourselves some hockey sticks. Yeah, I screwed it up. I kept saying the wrong. Yeah, I screwed it up. I don't know why. I don't know. I saw Sears, but I screwed it up. It's my fault. The Tigers game is off. Runners on first and second, bottom of the first. All right. A couple more minutes here. We'll get on our way for the live stream. Check us out. My guy Sharpie's going to be sweating. You know he's going to be sweating every single pitch. 1877 cash now. Warm up the Ramon Scott show tonight and tomorrow. Don't bet today. Don't bet today. Why aren't you betting today? Bet the shit out of this card today. Plus 180. All right. NHL time. Dallas leads this series 2-1. Goaltending wise, you know the deal, right? It's Hellebuck. It's Ottinger. Should be a low-scoring series. Every game's been like 4-2, it feels like. Winnipeg Jets. Hellebuck. What happened? Game 2, he shut him out. What happens in Game 3? We know. You shut a team out, they come back, they win. Now, not the case for the Capitals last night. But we've talked about it enough. We'll finally take it out on it. That's fine. Goalie versus goalie battle, for sure. This is a tough one. Tough game, tough situation, tough lineup, tough number, by the way. I mean, I said this last night. Sub and I were talking about the Vegas game, and he was like, what do you think? And I said, well, I'm on the under. Thanks for listening to Pregaming. And I said, I like Vegas, but I said I would have liked Vegas more if the number was plus 150, not plus 105. And I know that's contrary to what people believe when it comes to like who they're foreseeing winning the game. It just didn't feel right. That number seemed way too low given that they're in Edmonton. There was just way too much respect given or not enough respect given for Skinner in goal. On the side here, though, I'm much more comfortable with this Stars number now. It's moved from minus 135 to minus 150. That's about the price tag I would expect a team that should come out there and thump these boys. I mean, Rantanen, is he not on his way to be the potential player of the playoffs? I know it's not going to be Austin Matthews. That guy hasn't done shit. That guy's in the milk carton right now, floating across the 6 going, has anybody seen this guy? Did they leave him in Florida? But I think what you've seen overall is tight games, but two things. You got the President's Cup winner on the Winnipeg Jet side of things. I'm not a big fan of that side of it, as you guys well know. But we do have some numbers. And we found these numbers to be beneficial last series where we were talking about game 6s. Well, how about series 2, game 4s? Yeah, we got it. We had to dust off the database, but when it happens, it ain't in favor of the road dog. They're a road dog for a reason. They are 1-9 in those spots. 1-9. If it's lined at 5.5, which this game is, it's 1-4. So smaller sample because it's a more specific number. But the dog's losing in series 2, game number 4s. And I think that's the case tonight. The question is, how do we go after it? I'm not going to lay the minus 150. I did that last week on a game, and it bit me in the buttocks. Something bit me. So I went with this one. The margin of victory, ample enough. Over 1 goal per game. I think Dallas wins regardless. If this thing does go to overtime, then I will double down on my Dallas play. I just think that's the case. I also think when it comes down to it, we got this one. Because I don't expect the Jets to score more than 2 goals. Only once this series have they. It was the game they won 4-0. Prior to that, they lost 3-2 in Dallas, by the way, and 5-2. So I thought this was a good way to attack this game with the strategy behind it. By the way, live bet strategy. Plus 106 regulation. They got to win before the overtime. If it goes to overtime, I will double down on Dallas, and I'm taking the Jets team total under 2.5. Hopefully, if it does go to overtime, it's 1-1, so I can guarantee that cash. But I thought that was a good way to play that game. That's the way I want to attack it. Shout out to Erica Taylor. Both NBA games over. Trance loves his Jets. Loves his Jets. He did message me the other day, though, to tell me that he was fading him. I had agreed I was fading him. Let's go. Let's go. Fernando Mendoza took the Cavs team total over. Peter Gracias says Forrest Gump. All right, I got last game. I told you guys, I can't see Cleveland. I just don't want to mess with that game. I'm borderline pissed off at the NBA anyways. These first half, second halves. I told you I got stuck waiting for our table to get ready for Mother's Day. I got to watch that fucking Denver game. I'm on the Nuggets side of things. They blow the game. I wasn't on the Nuggets side. I was laying the 5.5. I think I was on the OKC side. And they end up winning the game by 5. Oh, man, it was just a total shit show. Cavs and Pacers. Man, I would probably take the plus 8.5 for the Pacers. Am I overreacting to the injuries? I don't know. I'd almost take the money line on the Pacers. I just don't expect the series to end tonight. Not in Cleveland. I just think that's too many points. And I think the same thing here with this Denver series. You know, I'll give you guys the splits here. Sorry. Got ahead of myself. Then we got to jump over and see our man. He's rocking over there. He's ready to go. 77% of the bets, 78% of the cash on the, I'll give you the Cavs first. That's on the Nuggets. 68% of the bets, 48% of the cash on the Pacers. They've gone from 9.5 to 8.5. So there's some correlated movement. The total's gone nowhere with 91% of the bets and 90% of the cash on the over. Like I said, the money lines come down from plus 330 to plus 286. And the sharp bets are 72% of the cash is on the Pacers money line. In this Nugget spot, though, this line did drop down to 10 and now some 9.5. They're still floating around in the marketplace. So that's kind of the correlated spot you want to see. The total's gone from 217.5 to 221. You got 92% of the bets and 91% of the cash. Look, here's the thing. You know, some guys are just afraid to talk about the games, right? Like they'll ride a little streak or, they'll find their primetime unders. But, I talked about the Boston series and the 3 points being the key. When it comes down to this series, the problem is Jokic right now. And even Andrew had talked about this on Friday, and he was like, have you seen, what's the deal? They're scheming against him for sure. My problem is you can only keep a big man down so much. You shut him down once, okay. You shut him down twice, okay. You shut him down 3. Are you going to shut him down every single game this series? And even with that being said, this series is tied. So the Cavs and the OKC Thunder were arguing and battling for the top seed in the NBA. Cleveland's back's against the wall. Boston's almost eliminated. And Denver was able to come back in front of my face while I was paying way too much money for watered down cocktails. They scored 8 points in the first quarter of game 4. They took a lead and then lost that game because they only had 18 points in the fourth quarter. The rest of the game was reasonable. The spot that I was watching that made me sick was reasonable. And, it's game of runs. So I just think this is too many points is what it comes down to me. This is one of those spots where does OKC win this game at home? Probably. The right team should be favored, but not by this many points. And I don't think you're going to shut Jokic down again. You've already done it. They say the cream rises to the top. And I think that's the opportunity for Nikolai. I think he's a situation where he just kind of they strategized on him. They did a good job. But he's going to figure it out. I mean, his point numbers tonight, I'd look for some extended point totals out there. He's probably going to beast on these dudes. Nothing more than just a gut feeling. But you can't shut this guy down forever. And I like OKC. There's no doubt about it. They're going back home, the court. I get all of that. I get all that factored in. I just think this is too many points. And the problem that the Denver Nuggets have had is Jokic. And even without Joker, they're still winning these games out there. And they're deep. God damn, they're deep. Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter. Although you guys did talk about the shoulder with Michael Porter. That does scare me a little bit. But this is a spot I think Joker stands up. I think he goes out there, 30 plus points of plus money, 35 plus points, triple double his ass as well. That's it. That's the way we're going to get paid. That's the way we're going to put the bow on the show. Guys, don't forget, get out there and comment. We get to 50 comments this week. I will make sure that we go out there and give some goodies away. Summertime. Get the summertime merch out and get you guys ready to roll, rocking that sports money gear this summer. We're going to go live right now. I'm going to go shut this show down, make a drink, log into the next show. It's rolling right now. Check us out. We're going to be live from 7 to 9 with our guys Sharpie and Ramon Scott. The boys will be there. They're going to be ready to go. And it is going to be hyper vigilance on looking for live betting opportunities, player props, sides, totals. We'll talk more games as we get rolling, you guys. Thanks for checking us out tonight on behalf of the Sports Money Show. Lots going on this week in the world of sports money. Make sure you guys check it all out. Thank you to Redbeard for the gifted membership. Thank you to Razor Sharp Picks for the gifted membership. And thank you to Zoe gifting a dead Lincoln, as he said, $5 here to the family. Appreciate you guys. Enjoy your evenings if we don't see you here live, but move on over. Let's have some